Welcome. This is Death Unites Us and Mad Mike the King,
Whoop.
and we are going to talk about the recent PSN shutdown and all the drama that has gone along with it. This is just, we're not trying to be all official about this, is we're just going to talk about it. So, I mean, if you're an Xbox guy or PSN guy, like whatever, just, we're not trying to criticize anyone, but we're just going to talk about what we've heard and what we've seen go on in the past week since PSN has gone down.
Yeah,
So,
just opinions and stuff.
exactly.
Not gonna get religious on you unless praise the Lord. I need to give you the power of Jesus. I'll do it.
He is not afraid to give you the power if you need it.
Holy water.
For those of you who haven't heard, or I guess haven't played PlayStation
Or living
recently,
under a rock. That kind of thing.
or you're an Xbox person who just isn't in the loop, PlayStation Network has been down for a little over a week now, right? Because it was last Wednesday.
I think it's 10 days.
Yeah, 10 days.
9 days, around that. Yeah.
That PSN has been down due to a hacker. At first, we didn't know what it was. They didn't release any information, and then I believe Friday or Saturday. It happened last Wednesday. That was, let's see the date. It was the 20th of April. And on the 22nd or 23rd, it was released that it was a hacker that had gotten to the system. Like, when was the last time PSN was hacked? It was a couple months ago, right?
No, it wasn't even that. It was like a few weeks ago, actually, because of
Was it?
Anonymous.
Yeah.
It was probably like less than a month ago, but Anonymous was like, we're doing this against Sony, and then when they affected the people playing, because that's all it was. It was PSN being taken down, Sony.com and everything, and it didn't really affect them. They were just like, oh, we'll get this fixed. But everyone else that wanted to play, they were like, you know what, this is a pain in my ass that I did not need on this very day.
Yeah, so
thing with
Anonymous
this
kind
one-
of backed off.
The thing with this one is that Sony said they knew between, like, I think it was the 17th and 19th, that they knew something happened between those days, because they had, like, I don't know if it was like they were doing some update or they were changing something that they left a window of opportunity for someone to hack.
Yeah.
And they found out that someone most likely took everyone's. There was actually like two different things. They said they have one that's the credit card info that's encrypted, and then the other one that's the name, address, password, all that, email, and all that stuff. And
Yeah.
they said they knew that someone got into the one, but they did not know if someone got into a credit card for sure. And even if they have that, Sony said they never asked you for your security code.
Yeah, so at least that's protected.
As long as you pay attention to what you're doing with the credit card and everything, you're pretty safe. Especially given that if this guy hacked for credit card and he lives in some place that nobody else really cares about or lives, and he'll probably just try to steal stuff using the credit card in his area and not everyone around the world.
Yeah,
And he'll get caught regardless.
if he uses the credit cards. But anyways, like I was saying, after it was released that it was a hacker that did it, the 25th or 26th is when it was released that the hacker had also gotten everyone's information, like Mike said, email and credit card information and PSN password and curiosity passwords, if anyone even uses that.
Yeah, that was kind of new though, so I don't know how
Yeah.
many people had that yet.
But basically, it's been 10 days, about 5 days since we learned that all of our information is given out. Sony has released statements saying that we're not really in any particular danger, but we should be careful with our credit reports. We should change all our passwords, stuff like that, just to be safe. And I don't. It's a big pain in the ass for everyone who is a PSN player, because we didn't really ask for this. I mean, one day we were just playing on PSN, and now we got to change all our passwords. We got to worry about our credit cards, and I mean that's
and it's not even Sony's fault either. It's not like
yeah.
Any company connected to the internet can get the same problem. I know if Microsoft had this happen to them, they'd probably have to do the same thing that Sony's doing and get all the blame too.
Yeah.
And it's not the company's fault that someone hacks them. They don't ask, hey, hack me. Or
Yeah.
hey, come on over, you can hack us, no problem. But
And that's the biggest thing that I wanted to stress is that, like I said, we're not trying to be biased towards PSN or Xbox, but I've heard all of these Xbox people and even PSN people who decided that Xbox is now better because of this are coming out and saying that Xbox is so much better because PSN is just a place waiting to get hacked and all these things. They're basically blaming Sony for all this, and I believe that although I think maybe Sony could have done something before this. I think they're handling it very well, and the way that they've gone through with it. I mean, you can't say that this couldn't have happened to Microsoft. It's a thing that could have happened to anyone. We know how.
the Wii, even stuff on Nintendo could have probably happened like this.
Yeah,
Or even stuff if freaking Steam. And anything connected to the internet could be hacked.
yeah,
That's like a fact.
and it sounds like Sony is going to give repercussions for all the stuff
I
that.
know they are saying they're gonna find a way to pay back certain people. Like I already know they put a statement that people who were subscribed to DC Universe and Free Roams, that they said they were, as soon as you come back and everything, they are gonna pay back to those people for subscribing and everything. And my best guess would be either some type of like month free, or add it on to whatever you have, because I know PS3 doesn't have the lifetime subscription, so either way you're gonna get something in return.
Yeah,
Either that, or they probably just give you a refund if you don't want it anymore or something like that. I know they said they were gonna decide different solutions to everything, which I thought was good on them. I mean, it's not like they're just saying, yeah, we'll just give you like a free crappy PSN game and call it a day.
yeah. And the same thing with PSN Plus. I'm sure they'll probably like add a month or
Yeah,
something
but,
like
but
that.
that's the thing with me. For me, I think PSN Plus should have no compensation whatsoever, given the fact that you're already getting free games every week.
That's
And
true.
they're giving you free stuff that people that don't have it usually will have to pay $3 for, maybe $4, and then in total, doing the math for the whole year, let's say you get like $10 a piece on every little thing there. You're gonna make over $100 saved by just paying what, $50 a year, I guess, or
Yeah,
$50 a year in 3 months.
yeah, that's what it was. So, but I think yeah, the biggest thing is I think Sony did do went at this well. I mean, they aren't staying behind closed doors. They told us what's going on. They told us for our safety we should be careful and
Yeah, I mean, it did take them a while, though. I mean, they were a bit
yeah,
vague at first, but at the same time, when you have something that's encrypted and you don't even know if someone went into it yet, you can't just go like, we're not exactly sure, but we'll keep you updated. No, they told you that something happened and
yeah,
they're working on a way. They said it was in the beginning of the day. They said it was an intrusion, and I mean, to this day, people are begging to find out who it is. I mean, of course, everyone immediately goes to anonymous, and you can't always rule them out, even though I know they're supposed to be a little more organized and stuff, and you can't rule out some random other hacker. But a lot of people are also saying that it might be an inside person for PlayStation who
could be.
either got angry or left the company. I don't know, but anything can happen. I mean, life's life. Sometimes you get pissed off, and then other times you're like, you know what? I'm gonna screw over millions of people who use Sony.
Yeah,
But I mean, that brings up another thing that I don't like, the fact that PSN is down, so automatically everyone says Sony has nothing left, or that it's useless. Last time I checked, nobody really cared about PSN online, saying people already thought it was kind of boring or crappy. I mean, last time I checked, it was free. It's not like you're paying for it. And
yeah,
second of all, I'm pretty sure gaming from the beginning of time was something you either played alone or you played locally. I don't know when online decided to make the game what it is. I used to like games that were story based, or single player. PS3 has exclusives while Xbox continue losing theirs, and I'll stick with PS3 even if it did have no online, because I can still play games like Infamous and stuff with no care in the world because I'm still enjoying myself.
yeah. I think people attack Sony way too much for this. I mean, it's first of all, it's not their fault. It could have happened to anyone. It's not in. Sony didn't wish for this to happen, but they're definitely taking steps to correct it as much as they can. And especially when people say that like Sony doesn't have good customer support, like that just completely didn't make sense to me, seeing as though I don't see Microsoft having any better support than PlayStation, first of all. And second of all, Sony is taking every precaution. I mean, yeah, at first they were iffy about it, but you have to be iffy about something like this. I mean, this was a public attack. They don't really know, they still don't know who it was, so they can't really come out and say, give us all the details, because then they'd be giving the details to whoever did it, you know?
Yeah, and even if they did, they could have assumed someone did it, put that assumption out there. When they're wrong, they both make us look like idiots for believing them, and themselves for assuming that someone did it. And then,
Yeah.
they lose more. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people already crucified Sony for this and want to say, oh, Sony just dug their grave and stuff like that. Well, I'm probably going to be the one who's putting the grave out of the hole, putting it, instead of 6 feet under, I'm going to raise it 6 feet in the air to heaven. Because I'm still going to believe in Sony, because, I mean, there's plenty, even before, there's plenty of companies that they'll have a little downfall in something and then they come right back to it. Especially Nintendo, Microsoft, and Sony now are being the only three real dominant ones. They're gonna keep coming back over and over. I mean, it hasn't been a while since they had a bunch of just a permanent set of consoles continuously growing, and I don't think this is gonna stop Sony or even make them go down on the list. I still see great games from them, and I still see support. I mean, the fact that they're saying already that they are finding a way to pay back people as soon as they get it up, and they also said that they're probably going to get it up. I mean, if you do the math for it, they said a week from, I think, Wednesday. So I guess around May 3rd or whatever. It's not confirmed, but they said they are going to get it back. And, 2 weeks, I don't know how many people are apparently right now lying dead in their basement because they haven't played online in 2 weeks, but,
That's another thing. Like you said, it's a free service, so you can't get that mad when it's free. And I know if this would have happened to Xbox, people would be going nuts, like more so than Sony. Just imagine if Xbox Live got hacked and like all the people who were paying for it and all the Halo freaks and all the people on Black Ops and stuff right now just weren't playing, they'd go nuts.
That's another thing too, though. I always felt like, last time I checked, there was a lot of games on Xbox that could get hacked too.
hmm
I mean, before any hacking, whatever, you'll have Call of Duty, all these hacked or mods and glitches and all this stuff.
Yeah, it's even worse on Xbox, I believe, isn't it?
You barely see that on PS3 until they released that jailbroken thing a few less than a month ago or a month ago.
And even then, I mean, it's old games too. Like the only hacks that I've really seen were Call of Duty 4 hacks, like the flying hack and the infinite ammo hack, which just came about. But I mean, Call of Duty 4 is old. It's what, 2 years, 2.5?
I think 2.5, almost 3
Two
years
and
old.
2.5 years old.
It has to be 3 years old. Almost, yeah, almost.
So to see hacks there is not that big of a deal. I mean, it's an old game, so you're kind of expect to see hacks. But before we end this, I know you had some things to say about the lawsuit. Just yesterday, it was revealed to us that Sony was sued by
Was it
someone.
some random law firm, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't even by a person or anything. It was just a law firm who decides to sue them.
Mm-hmm.
And if they win, all the PSN users would get, I think it was like $10 to $15 each, because they're taking the money away from Sony and then splitting it to everyone. Which I find, even for myself, I mean, anyone could be like, oh, I don't care, $10, $15, but I'd rather have PSN back up and my games and then being compensated for what I've subscribed to than $10, $15 that I put away and I still have no PSN, or they're still going through all this suing stuff and all this stuff in court and all this crap. I mean, Sony this year and last year so far, how many times they're being sued for all kinds of bullshit? It's kind of like,
Yeah. But basically, this was just for to make a statement. They weren't trying to make money off of this. It was basically to show Sony that they should be more protective of their internet and stuff, which I feel like is bullshit, because
I mean, this can happen to anyone.
Yeah, I don't think Sony was like being really unprotective of their internet. I think they were just as protective as they thought they needed to be, and before this attack, they wouldn't have made any changes to what they had. But
Yeah, I think the only point they could bring up is the fact that they did know between those 2 or 3 certain days where they probably were vulnerable, whatever. But I'm sure that was something that happens all the time. Just someone took advantage of it at that moment
yeah,
and took over. But I mean, you can't really. I get
I mean, what could they have done? Like if they known ahead of time, what were they gonna do? Like
Yeah, I don't
warn
doubt that
everyone, or
I'm sure they're paying more money to get this new security that they're rebuilding around now. Probably a good chunk of money to make sure that this doesn't happen again. But I mean, once you've been hacked once, and then all this information on how to hack the PS3 goes out and everything, it's got to be cake by now. All these people
yeah,
get their hands on it, and they're like, "Oh, this is taking candy from a baby." And
yeah.
right now they took a giant ass Tootsie Roll.
It's interesting though, because people shouldn't attack Sony because it's not like if this would happen to Microsoft, it would have been a bigger deal because Microsoft would also be losing money. But other than the fact that the PlayStation Store is down, this is a free service, and they're putting a lot of money into this to make sure it doesn't happen again because Sony is dedicated to their fans. They're not dedicated to making money like Microsoft.
The only money they use to actually get from people to make the PSN work is the PSN Plus people.
Hmm.
Even some people are only using, like for me right now, I only had the money at a time to get the $15 one or
Yeah,
$16, but that's going to PSN, and that's not really a lot to be given to PSN compared to what Xbox does for a year is 50, and you get. I mean, I'm not gonna start bragging. I'm sure the money goes to more security probably in the long run, but Sony's doing this for free, and they got my support. I mean, last time I checked, once you buy the game, that should be the game. The
yeah.
console and the game, and you play. I don't need to pay an extra just to play with some friends when I can, probably just do it locally and have this more fun. If not, you know, nothing at all with playing online.
Well, we'll see what happens, and make sure if you guys have any questions to comment below. We'll be around to talk about this, and you can also go on the forums and talk about it there. That's about all we have to say about this. Hopefully, Sony will be up shortly. Like I said, should be in the next couple of days, and with their new infrastructure and everything that they're doing, hopefully this doesn't happen again. But hopefully, Sony fans will stay true to Sony and hopefully didn't get too pissed over this. I mean, you still have single player games, you still have BioShock, and
Yeah, it's a
you
good
know,
reality check, if anything.
yeah, really,
Just
I
like
think
wake
this
up,
is a good
smell
time.
the coffee, and walk
I know I
outside.
used this time to play some games that weren't online. I played some You Don't Know Jack and Plants vs Zombies and all those nice offline games.
I freaking beat Portal 2 twice. And I
There
never
you go.
beat the first one. I never beat the first one, so that was like I was like, oh, I mean, like I've seen the first one, but I mean, playing Portal 2 and enjoying some time to probably do a let's play is has been good. So yeah,
All right. Well, we will talk to you guys later. Comment below with your thoughts and feelings, and forget the haters.